Hey guys, Viejo here. It's the third week of June, beginning of the third week of June in 2024. Got a nice day here, Central Coast of California. I got 65 here in the garage. Sun's just now coming out after the morning overcast and drear that we typically get. We call it May gray and June gloom. Anyway, hey, I want to give you my final thoughts on this bullet feeder magazine kit that Lee sells for use with the bullet feeder dies that they make. Okay, good product, incidentally. I really like these. The kit that they put out for the oops, gotta go this way, I guess. For the magazines, it comes with 3 magazines. I wish that they would sell just one, a single kit. And they do sell the magazine separately, but you need this extra piece here for the best utility of this system. Anyway, you get a set that will work with the 22 class, one with for the 35 caliber class, and one for the 44 or 45 caliber class of bullets. And they have different numbers of tubes. The 22 class got 6 tubes. The 35 class has 5, and the 44, 45 class has 4 tubes. And as I said, you get this piece here, and the idea with this is that we're going to use this with our cast bullets in conjunction with the bullet sizing die, so that you feed the magazine as you are sizing your cast bullets, and that's what this is for. All right, you can use these magazines just fine with plated and jacketed bullets if you want to hand feed the bullets into the tubes. Lee doesn't have a good bullet loading system other than this for the cast bullet idea. If you want a bullet feeder setup, go look at the Mr. Bullet Feeder. They're kind of expensive, but they do work. So I took a look at these. I want to talk first about the kit as it came, because there were a couple of issues. First of all, this part down here was just full of machine chips that had not been cleaned out. It somehow skated out the back door of the factory without getting cleaned, and I had to spray it all out. And then even after that, the threads that are in here, this piece threads on, were so still loaded up with chips that I had to chase the threads with a 7/8 by 14 tap. And that's okay if you got a tap like that, otherwise you can spend a whole bunch of time in there with a brush trying to get that stuff cleaned out. It worked, and I got it set up. I thought that was kind of strange to see something get shipped out the door that way. Then the next thing is that while you can use this vertically off of a single stage press, pushing cast bullets up from the bottom. Those of you who are casters know what I'm talking about if you use the Lee bullet sizing dies, which a lot of folks do. And I don't know whether this will work with NOE dies or not. You might be able to get it to work with them. But there are a couple of problems with using it vertically, but it was easily resolved. You could put a nut on here, and with the extra kit that comes for mounting this upside down on the APP, there's a small kind of a channel here that nut would fit in. That would work. I came up with a different solution. I put a metal bolt in here instead of this plastic one, drilled it and put a hitch pin through it, and that solved that problem. I'm going to show you that here in the inset here. You can kind of see what was going on with that. So I didn't really like it for vertically feeding it with a single stage press, though it does work, I think, with some kind of a modification that you would have to do on your own. I think Lee could have done that. And probably you could just drill that plastic bolt and put a pin through that also. or find a nut that'll fit on there or something. It doesn't take much. You just got to keep this thing from lifting off, because that's what would happen. All right. Then the next thing is that in order to use it with the APP, you need a kit that they sell extra for a little bit more, not a whole lot. And all it comes with that extra kit is this fender washer that's on the end, and you can't see it because of the color here, but there's an aluminum rod about the size of a Hoppe's aluminum cleaning rod, that kind of thing, that goes down through the center of these and sort of holds everything together and puts a cap on the end so that bullets won't fall out the bottom as you're sizing your bullets down through the APP. Let's go take a look at what that looks like when you're using this with the APP. Here's the inverted size and fill adapter. This is for using the magazine filling system with the bullet sizing kit, the breech lock bullet sizers. And this is the adapter you need to suspend the magazine underneath the app press. So all there is this tube. That's a rod, actually. It's not hollow all the way through. And a fender washer and a round nut. I don't use the bullet feeder system when I'm sizing bullets, because you still have to hand load the bullets into that magazine. And if you're going to handle the bullets, you might as well just throw them right into here. That system never made a whole lot of sense to me. All right, so it does work really well. I thought I was pretty happy with the way that worked. And then and incidentally, links to the first few videos that I did with this kit are in the description box. You can go back and check it out yourself and watch kind of the full videos. I did one with loading it vertically and one with loading it on the APP. I was happy with that. So you get this guy full, you take it directly to your press and go to loading. Okay, you run this dry, come back. I ran some 9mm bullets, and the magazine held about 100 of those, so which is handy, right? So you go load another 100 in there and back over the press. It does not take long to fill this guy up when you're sizing on that APP. It goes pretty quickly. But I think that is really the best scenario for this kit, is for when you're getting ready to do some loading with cast bullets and they need to be sized. So you would hold off sizing your bullets until you're ready to load. There's no point in doing them twice. You don't want to size them and then put them back through the sizer to fill this up, okay? You do that when you're ready to load. I guess you could get a whole bunch of these magazines and load a bunch of them up, but they're not all that cheap. I don't know if you really want to have 10 of these on hand or something, okay? You don't have to buy 10 of these. You get the magazine separate, but in order to use it on the APP, you need this kit to go through there, and unless you want to reinstall that rod on each of your magazines as you go, that's not simple enough. I mean, there's not many steps, but you got to disassemble these and take them apart, and it's hard to get these tubes lined up to fit in the sockets again. So I don't think you'd want to do that. I think the idea is going to be, hey, when you're ready to load, get your bullets out, fill a magazine, go load those, take it off the die, bring it back to the app, fill it again, and that just takes seconds to take this off your press. Well, you'd have it mounted vertically on your press like this, right? Okay, on top of your sizing die. I used it on the Dillon, and I can't show you the actual loading process here on YouTube, but this bottom piece comes off. You unscrew this bottom piece comes off, and then the whole thing sits on our sizing die, kind of like this. And again, it just takes seconds to take. You just got to take that nut off and stick the magazine on top of your sizing die on your press, and away you go. Same thing to take it off again and go stick it back on the app. Okay, this piece just fits back on there, held in place with that nut, no sweat. Okay, seconds involved. That's not a long process at all. And it would be similar if you're doing it on the on a C or O press, doing it vertically, which frankly I didn't like that idea at all. I mean, it does work, but I prefer to do it on the APP because I have one. Well, if you don't have an APP, then you don't have that option. So I don't see this as an option really for caster plated bullets, because you've got to hand load these magazines without some kind of a good collator system that guarantees that your bullets are going to get loaded in there, you know, in the proper orientation, nose first or base first, unless you're using a soup can type of wad cutter, in which case it doesn't matter which end goes first. Then you can load these pretty quickly with a collator. Okay, I would say, hey, you know, if you're a caster and you use the Lee sizing system on the APP, this is worthwhile. I just wish that there was an option to buy this piece and maybe the one magazine that you need. I'm never going to use this one for the 22 class. It's just going to sit there. You know, I don't see why I should have had to pay for that. The only real issues I had were with this thing being so dirty when I got it. The tubes are a little bit tricky with the 5 and 6 tube magazine to get these ends put in place. They don't come assembled. And there's a little bit of fiddling that you got to do to get these end caps, you know, on there correctly. The tubes want to kind of wiggle all over the place. The other thing was with this kit, to make it useful for the APP, again, it's real simple. There's only 3 parts that come with it. But the instructions refer to an O-ring that's not there. And I had to put in my own O-ring. Whether Lee omitted that intentionally, saying, well, maybe we don't really need that O-ring, I don't know. But the instructions were clear, saying, hey, be sure you save the O-ring. You're going to need it later. And they say you're going to need it in step 6. Well, it was step 3 that called for it. And, you know, you can, if you watch the video that I did with that kit, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But I thought that was kind of rude for them to put out a set of instructions like that, you know, calling for the use of a part that they didn't include. And it was not included with the magazines, and it was not included with the APP kit. So, come on, Lee, you know, straighten up. All right, there it is. Good for you if you're using the Lee sizing dies for your cast bullets, and you have lots of them to do. You know, you save your sizing until you're ready to load. That's the scenario I think that's best for this. For jacketed cast bullets, not worth the time, because you got to sit there and hand feed them. If you're going to hand feed them, you might as well hand feed them on your press. That's what I think anyway. All right, that's going to do it for this one. I hope you got something out of that. If you got questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. But from the Viejo Bench for now, that's all she wrote.